everyone, and thanks so much for joining us for 12 News at 10. We begin tonight with breaking news. Police officers were involved in a shooting in West Phoenix tonight. This is the second night in a row. It happened near 83rd Avenue and Indian School Road. 12 News journalist Joe Dana is joining us live from the scene. And Joe, what do we know?
Caribe, we don't know much yet. A really terrible scenario, though, about 15 minutes ago, played out behind us. We could hear 5 or 6 women and some kids huddled together behind us, just wailing and crying, 40 to 50 yards away from us. So obviously they're processing something terrible that went down. The best we know at this point, police officers confronted a man who may have been posing a threat to someone else. It may have been a domestic violence assault situation, but we do not know details. We cannot confirm them at this point. We do know, though, a Phoenix officer did fire, killing that man. Beyond that, we know the officers are okay. And I can tell you, this little enclave of apartments and houses, I'm told, is normally just a very lively, festive kind of atmosphere on a Saturday night. Tonight, filled with police cars, quiet, and some people mourning from this terrible, terrible tragedy. But again, we're still waiting for details. For now, though, I'll send it back to you. I'm here in West Phoenix. Joe Dana.
Joe, were you able to talk to anybody in the neighborhood, anybody who maybe witnessed anything?
Just talked to a few people who came out after they heard about the shots fired. And we have an unconfirmed report that an officer did have someone sort of at bay who was posing a threat to a woman, potentially with a weapon. And the unconfirmed information I have is that the officer fired, killing that man who was posing a threat to someone else. But again, nothing confirmed at this point.
Yeah, and like you said, those women who were wailing and showing just a lot of emotion. Obviously, something really terrible happening in that neighborhood. All right, Joe Dana, live in the West Valley from 83rd Avenue and Indian School. All right, Joe, thank you. All right, another big story tonight. We're under a weather impact alert, and these storms are not done yet. We're continuing to track more rain chances across the state. Let's bring in meteorologist Lindsay Riley now with our weather impact forecast. And Lindsay, how much more rain are we expecting to see tonight?
Well, the rain is actually beginning to move into the East Valley. As far as rain amounts, we're going to end up with storm totals likely in the 1 to 2 inch range. And Chris Dunn's going to show us some of those rain totals here momentarily. But in terms of additional rainfall through the overnight, we're seeing a couple storms in the valley right now, but the coverage is really going to begin to pick up during the overnight. You can see we're up to a 30% by midnight. We continue hour by hour overnight, peaking at 70% at 8 a.m. So wet through the overnight till about noon tomorrow. After noon, then we'll start to dry out, but we're still not done with all this tropical moisture. We are going to have more heading into late Sunday night and Monday. Now, up in Flagstaff, we will see a little bit less rain during the overnight. As you can see here, we're peaking at about a 20% chance between midnight and 4 a.m. And the reason why is because the heaviest rain tomorrow is actually going to be across far southeastern Arizona. We're getting that influence from Raymond now, not Priscilla any longer. And you can see a medium risk for flooding down closer to Tucson as well as Cochise County. Slight risk here in the valley as well. Here's the latest. We've had a couple severe thunderstorm warnings. This one right now over Gila County. This is where we're seeing the most active storm activity currently. This one severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 10:30. Some of these storms capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour gusts. So that's what's making them severe. But we're watching a couple different things playing out in the valley right now. Number one, we have a strong thunderstorm down towards Sun Lakes. But as I move a little bit to the right here, you can see this is an outflow boundary approaching Santan Valley. That is going to collide with this storm right here, and it's very possible that provides enough lift to generate new storms. So over the next hour or so, we very well could see the coverage of storms increase across the valley, and then we will have this storm coverage go up through the overnight and stick around through about lunchtime tomorrow. Meteorologist Chris Dunn now is standing by, and a lot of this rain fell overnight, so some folks might have missed it, but we're setting records, Chris.
Yeah, some pretty impressive numbers. 0.70 at Sky Harbor Airport. That more than doubled the previous record of 0.31 that was set back in 1928. Your results may vary, but here's a widespread look at the valley rainfall totals. Cave Creek 6,300, nearly an inch in Chandler, And on the east side, Apache Junction 8300ths. And over on the west side, about a third of an inch for Goodyear and Avondale. Here's the rain potential as we go through tonight and into tomorrow, stopping the clock at 11:20 tomorrow morning. Another half inch, 3/4 of an inch possible in parts of the valley. Again, your results may vary. We're already seeing some of that rain in the Gilbert, Chandler, Sun Lakes, and Santan Valley area. Then another surge, another wave of rain possible on Monday, and that'll push the rain potential numbers up over an inch in many locations. And that's on top of the rain that we have already seen so far. Still making that tropical connection, as Lindsay mentioned, with Priscilla. Now that's kind of out of the picture, but Raymond is now being considered a post-tropical storm, and this is the last advisory issued by the National Hurricane Center, kind of dying a very quick death here in the Gulf of California, but still pulling up that moisture. The green on here is the deepest tropical moisture, still residing over southern Arizona through tomorrow and into Monday, but then eventually this low pressure strengthens. It'll keep us on the cool side, but also bringing in some drier air, so it'll push all that moisture out. Some of the cool numbers coming up in your 7-day forecast with Lindsay in about 10 minutes from right now.
All right, Chris, thank you for that. Well, in Yavapai County, first responders had a busy morning rescuing 2 teen women from floodwaters there in Clear Creek Mountains. 12 News journalist Sean Rice is in Camp Verde with how they were able to make it out alive.
This morning, 9 members of the Verde Search and Rescue Team here in Yavapai County, an all-volunteer group, trekked 5 miles round trip into the Clear Creek Mountains behind me in search of 2 19-year-old girls. These girls planned to take an overnight hike leaving Thursday morning, but because of the severe weather that's hit the state this weekend, they quickly realized they were in danger of being swept away in floodwaters.
We had to go down, we were going to have to go up. There was no other option to get out of that canyon.
A 5-mile hike into the cavernous Clear Creek Mountains in search of 2 women. It's the kind of trek Tim Anderson and Jennifer Brayler train for.
We train twice as much as we do searches because we train for the worst possible thing that could happen. Because if we can do that, we can do all the routine things easily then.
They are both members of the Verde Search and Rescue Team. Early Saturday morning, they set out to find 2 women who intended to go on an overnight hike Thursday into Friday. But they were surprised by how fast the water levels at the bottom of the canyon rose and were unable to find their way back to safety. Because of severe weather, crews couldn't reach them until Saturday morning when their phones pinged with the help of satellites. That's when a DPS helicopter found them and airlifted them to safety.
It was a wonderful feeling knowing that they were safe because not all of our rescues end that way.
The sheriff's office says both women were cold, wet, and of course scared after nearly 48 hours in the mountains on their own. But overall, both are okay after the scary journey. Their families express gratitude to the first responders who saved their lives, but for Tim and Jennifer, it's their way of giving back to their community.
I have a young daughter as well, that if that was part of the motivation certainly to get out there and search for these 2 young ladies.
In Yavapai County, Sean Rice, 12 News.
All right, Sean, thank you. A woman is in the hospital after a road rage shooting in Peoria tonight. Police say that it happened on Peoria Avenue near Loop 101. Traffic on Peoria Avenue westbound between 91st Avenue and Loop 101 will be delayed while police investigate. Meanwhile, a separate shooting in the same area in Peoria has left a man dead. Police say it happened near Peoria Avenue in the Loop 101. Details are limited, but police say this is not related to that road rage shooting we just told you about earlier. Those involved are apparently they knew each other in this incident here, and right now there is no threat to the community. A man has died after he was shot by his ex-girlfriend. Police say that he allegedly broke into her South Phoenix home. It happened last night near 32nd Street and Southern Avenue. When crews arrived, they found the woman outside with her 2 children. She told police that she and her 28-year-old ex-boyfriend, Christopher Duran, had recently broken up when he reportedly forced himself inside, and she said she shot him. 2 teenagers have been arrested after another teenager died in a shooting in Chandler last night. Witnesses told police that shots were fired during an argument between 2 people near McQueen and Warner Roads. When crews arrived, they found 19-year-old Daniel Sablaski, who was shot and then later died. 2 19-year-olds were arrested and booked on a charge of second-degree murder. We still have not heard what led up to that shooting. Well, it is a growing problem in Tempe. A Corvette driver recorded himself hitting speeds of up to 140 miles per hour on Mill Avenue. And that is more than 4 times the speed limit. Now, this driver has been reported several times for reckless driving and loud noise. And when police tried to pull him over, he raced off and he blew through red lights. You can see it right there in that video. Now, the next day, the same car was speeding and evading police, but this time, police were able to use a grappler to stop the driver and arrest him for felony flight. Police say that the Corvette was also impounded.